And we are live.
Got it. Okay, ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, the meeting of the Kailua Village Design Commission will come to order. The time is 12:37 p.m. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sean Roth. I'm the chairperson of the Kailua Village Design Commission. I'll introduce the commissioners that are on the Zoom call this afternoon. We have Sing Young, Elena Kilkuski, Kalani Greenwell, Coleman Kapua, and that's it. Oh no, Rebecca.
Hi, sorry,
Yeah,
the link wasn't working.
is now on too. Great. And Commissioner, I remind you that because this is on the Zoom, to leave your video on, please. And then, is there anyone who has someone in the room with them?
Yep, I do. I've got my drafter, Winter Anderson, in the back.
Okay, thank you, Lonnie. Okay, the commissioner's role is to provide an architectural and design review of proposed projects, including landscaping and signage within the Kailua Village Special District. The commission is an advisory body. For sign permits, the commission's recommendations are forwarded to the Public Works Director for action. For architectural design review, the commission's recommendations are forwarded to the Planning Director for action. The procedures of this meeting are that Robert's Rules of Order will be used to conduct the meeting. Each commissioner wishing to speak should be recognized by the chairperson before speaking. Applicants and members of the public should be recognized by the chairperson when testifying or asking questions. Each application will be heard in the order listed on the agenda. Staff will introduce each project. Applicants will be asked to make a presentation or a statement, which will be followed by questions from the commissioners. Public testimony will be taken. The commission, after discussion, will vote to make a recommendation for approval, denial, or deferral. The first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. The minutes from the August 8th, 2023 meeting were distributed. Are there any corrections to these minutes? Looking for anyone raising their hand or unmuting. Okay. Hearing no corrections, the minutes are approved. Are there any statements from the public?
No, Chair, there were none.
Okay. Okay, for the record, no statements from the public. The first item of new business on the agenda is application PL KVD 2023-000039. The applicant, Palmodina Lopez of Tingley Development, is requesting design review for a new concrete patio, 10 feet by 10 feet concrete pad with a concrete stage 6 inches above grade and an 18-inch tall rock wall in the rear of Ocean's Bar and Grill located at the Coconut Grove Marketplace at 75-5801 Ali'i Drive. Existing landscaping is included in the design for the new stage with a grassed area and a new patio area with tables and chairs. No changes proposed to the existing building. The applicant, Almadina Lopez, Tingley Development, landowner, Coconut Grove Retail, the 8th LLC, TMK 75009025, located at 75-5801 Ali'i Drive in Kailua Kona. Will staff please give us an introduction to this application?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Rosalind Newland. Let me get this up on PowerPoint here. Share the screen. You see that?
Yep.
Great. So this is an aerial image with the Ali'i Drive and the coastline on the left. Let me get my pointer here. And then Kuakini on the right, so it has access from both Ali'i and Kuakini, and this circled air building, I believe that is Ocean's right there. You can see the coconut palm trees, coconut trees here in the back, and the concrete and grass patio area will be here in the back. There's the parcel. The Coconut Grove actually takes up 3 parcels combined. This one in blue, and then the 27 and oops. And the one above it and the one below it. It's interesting the way it's set up. Here's the title page showing how the patio tables would be in the grassed area and the concrete stage back here. There's the site plan. There's the old bongo bends to the right, the volleyball court to the left in the gray, and Outback Steakhouse towards on their left, and Jack's Diving Locker up towards Kukini. And that big footprint is Ocean's Bar and Grill, and that just shows a little bit of, oops, a little bit of the new concrete patio area. There's another image of how the tables will be with the grassed area and a new concrete or the wall that's already there, I believe, this half circle wall. Let me see if I can zoom into the writing on here. Why is this working? Oh. It's a proposed tall rock wall. 18-inch tall rock wall. So that half circle wall is proposed. Okay, and then there's the concrete pad right there. Okay. That's the last slide. And then it shows the existing palm trees. Any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Roz? I don't see anyone unmuting or raising a hand. Thank you, Roz.
Okay.
Does the applicant have anything that they would like to present?
Hey, this is Almadina, Angel, and my colleague. Nothing further to present. Roz did a really good job on explaining what's going on in this area. The initial intent of why we're making these updates would be because of the drainage mitigation. Ocean seems to have problems with the drainage on the north and the east side. And so that's the reason for paving more of the grass area into concrete. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
I do, yeah. So,
Go ahead, Commissioner Greenwell.
so with respect to the drainage, what is the plan for disposing of the runoff in the patio? Are you guys gonna pipe it somewhere or put it in seepage pits or?
Yeah, so we do have a drainage plan that was put together by our civil engineer. We have 3 dry wells, 2 on the east side and 1 on the north side. The one on the north side is already there, but we're just gonna kind of upgrade it a bit and re-slope what's going on now, because right now it's just grass and water is kind of trying to go over the grass into that drain, but failing because there's a little lump. So we're gonna fix that slope and pave it and have the water go over to that drain on the north side. And then on the east side we're just gonna hide 2 of those drains within the existing it's like rock planter-esque planters, rock, yeah, they're like rock with some planting in there. Roz, I do have a plan that was submitted. I don't know if you have that with you. Take a look at that. It's the name of the sheet is C01.
Was that in our handout, I wonder?
I don't see it in
If
the,
you guys stop at this
Oh,
stage
yeah.
right here, the proposed patio, you can see the new drainage wells. And then the sidewalk there is going to be.
I'm sorry, who's talking?
Jala Quinn.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're blurred
sorry, I'm
right now.
blurred out.
Okay,
You're
there you
right.
are.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I think what's happening is that this A01 in the presentation, it's cut off. And so commissioners, in your packet, more is shown. And that, there's a call out for at least one of those drainage features. Yeah.
So along the new 1'6" tall rock wall, there's gonna be a concrete gutter trench drain that's installed that will make it go to the existing dry well that's there so it can properly drain into the existing. And then the concrete sidewalk along the east side of Ocean's Bar and Grill, it's going to be demolished and then sloped to the new drain. Right now, it's just pulling up with water on the existing sidewalk. So it's going directly to the Ocean's building instead of redirected.
Okay. So Palani, does that answer your questions?
yeah, I was just curious. If
Okay,
drainage
thank
was
you.
the issue, I was just wondering where
Yeah.
the water is gonna drain to now. So, yeah,
Okay.
all good.
Commissioners, does anyone have any further questions for the applicant?
It's Roz, on this sheet A01, it shows where the new flow wells will be. If I've kind of got it blown up here, it's on the east side. You see where it's got the,
Yeah, there's a couple new
wells.
ones shown there, and then the existing
And then-
one is off the page, but it's shown on
Yeah.
our packets. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'll begin discussion and start with just saying I'm very much in favor of this application. I think that solving the drainage issues, that's not something that was clear in the initial presentation of it that we got, in our packets, but that explanation was helpful. So solving that and then also providing sort of a better environment for outdoor activity, at Coconut Grove, seems very positive. And so I'm in favor. Commissioners, would anyone else like to add to discussion?
Yes, may I speak something?
Who is that? Oh, yeah, Commissioner
Okay.
Young, go ahead.
Okay, only question I have is great plans is we need for the Coconut Grove. Only thing, the question I have, the improvement is to follow the guideline by the Coconut Grove.
I don't think that that's our area to question whether or not. We're looking at just the aesthetics as it relates to the village.
Yes, it's a great idea, but the question I have is if the improvement followed by the guideline by Coconut Grove, that'd be better, and that's be necessary before we approved.
So Commissioner Young, we don't have anything to do with the rules and regulations of Coconut Grove. And so we can only review based on, the aesthetics as it relates to the village and the plan for the village. It's up to the applicant to determine compliance with, with the landowner, the leaser, or so and so on.
Okay.
Commissioners, anybody else have anything to add to discussion?
Chair Roth, Commissioner Roth, can you hear me? It's Roz.
Yeah, go ahead.
The owner of the commercial center signed the application form for design review. So they're aware of what they're proposing.
Okay,
And it's the zoning district is resort hotels, so as far as having a stage, if they do entertainment or outside entertainment, that's a permitted use under outdoor amusement. And outdoor seating is a permitted use for the restaurant, so that all got get reviewed when they do a plan approval to add these features as far as zoning. But the landowner did sign the application for design review.
Oh, thanks, Roz. Okay, so Commissioner Young, so that the landowner has approved, it sounds like.
Okay.
Commissioner Greenwell, did you have something you want to add, or maybe make a motion?
I move to approve the application as submitted.
Okay, you have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, Commissioner Kailua, second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, hearing no one unmuting or adding discussion, let's vote on this motion.
Okay, Chair Roth will do a roll call vote. We'll start with Commissioner Greenwell, maker of the motion.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Kailua, second of the motion.
Oh, you're muted, Commissioner.
Oh, am I?
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Kilkuski,
Aye.
Commissioner Costa absent, excused. Commissioner Lucia
Aye.
and Commissioner Young.
Oh, Commissioner Young, you're muted.
Aye.
Thank you. Those 5 votes in favor, that's unanimous for tonight's attendance.
Okay,
To
great.
approve as submitted, yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. The motion is adopted. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Roz. So we'll move to the second item of new business. The application PL KVD 2023-000040. The applicant, Randy Tamayo of Arthur Mori and Associates, is requesting design review for a new industrial warehouse and open parking structure at a base yard for Hawaiian Telecom located at 74-5547 Palani Road, just east of Queen Kahumanu Highway. The exterior color theme for the warehouse is black, white, and gray, with a white metal roof and siding with black window frames and slats and various other trim elements. The parking structure would have a white standing seam metal roof with a white support structure. Both new structures would be located behind an existing central office building and parking area that is approved under special permit number 156 for communications equipment building, approved on June 26, 1970. Applicant Randy Tamayo of Arthur Mori Associates, landowner Hawaii Telecom, TMK 74-008020, located at 74-5547 Palani Road in Kailua Kona. Will staff please give us an introduction to this application?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Let me get started here. Okay. That's an aerial image showing the outline in kind of a blue color. There's the Hawaii Telecom building here. Let me get my pointer. Right here, it seems to back up. That's the big Walmart store below it. So the new warehouse and parking structure will go behind it. And there's Queen Kahumanu Highway below it. And there's the tax map for it, kind of a bit harder to see. There's Palani going upwards and Queen Kahumanu, and then there we go, Palani. Makes it look small there. It's only a couple acres site. There's their site plan. Let me see if I can get this bigger here. So this shows the existing central office that has a special permit, because this is zoned agricultural, so back in 1970, they received a special permit for communications equipment building, so that's this building here, which is now serving as their excuse me, central office. This will be, and then they have existing parking or new parking they're showing here. And here's Polani Road, here's the entrance up here. Then they'll have a new warehouse building, get my pen working again. Then they'll have this new parking area on the west side, a new warehouse, sorry. And then the parking structure is over here on the Malca side. You get that? Dude. Here we go. So here will be the parking structure. And they didn't say to be solar panels on it, but maybe they'll be doing that in the future sometime. And there's the lower level. Yeah, the next slide. Sorry, I just put a new mouse on my computer and now it's not working very well. Just a minute. Okay, there is the parking structure. Oops. And it's a metal seam roof, and that'll be a white color, as I recall. And then they've got black trim, so it's open parking with a metal roof. And there's their warehouse building with the black, white, and gray features, exterior colors. Zoom in on this a little bit. Here's a side view. So the metal roof will be a Mount Hood white. The aluminum slats will be a black matte color. The window frames will be black. And the guardrail will be dark bronze. There'll be a chain link fence with black vinyl. And this exterior wall finish will be white. The door frames will be, can't read the color. It looks like it's a black color. And then the exterior doors are the white color, it says. Okay. And there's another elevation sheet. So it has a lot of openings, which is part of the what they call out for in the Kailua Village Master Plan, to have a lot of openings in the exterior walls, so it's not just a big blank wall. And they have the pitched roof, which is also consistent with the Kailua Village Master Plan. There's some more elevations showing the parking structure. Here's a roof plan. That's the floor plan. Let me see what it says in the floor plan. Just a minute. In conference room, network ops station, repair, warehouse. So a number of different repair warehouse type uses. There, oops. There's a ceiling plan for the parking structure. There's the colors, there's the matte black. There's the Mount Hood white for the roof. I think that's it. That's all the slides. Does anyone have any questions?
Hey, does anyone have any questions for Roz? Anyone unmuting? Roz, I have a question
Yes.
regarding, this, because this particular site, you said there was a special permit, whatever, for it, for this use on the ag land.
Mhm.
And so it may, it's not exactly following the zoning, but What landscaping requirement is there for the parking areas and for the yards?
Well, it's zoned agricultural, so there's not necessarily landscaping requirements in Rule 17 landscaping for ag. We will review it during plan approval. But the normal things that come up would be if they had parking adjacent to a property line. But it's not close enough for it to be an issue because it's 32 feet away. It's 32 plus, I'm looking at here, is 32 plus another 16 feet, so it's almost 42 feet away from the property line. If this parking was right up to the property line, there might be a requirement for a buffer yard landscaping, but it isn't that close. So I don't think there's gonna be much of a requirement for landscaping because it's in the agricultural zoning district.
Okay, even for the front yard, yeah.
Yeah, because it's in the agricultural zoning district, in Rule 17, they're pretty much exempt. If the special permit had called out for landscaping, then there would be a requirement, but let's go back here. They had said there was some kind of existing landscaping, but I'm looking here and I'm not seeing too much. I see a couple trees, but there's not too much. This is the site right here.
And so do we know if that special permit had any conditions as far as landscaping?
Well, we can review that during, I don't know right now. I don't have it up
Okay.
on my screen. It's from
Yeah, that's pretty old.
1970. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They might have had some landscaping requirement. But we can definitely research that during the plan approval, because we have a plan approval application in now. Because it would be nice to have at least some landscaping along the front for buffer. You know,
Okay, does anyone else have any questions for Roz? No? Okay. Does the applicant have anything that they would like to present?
Hi, my name is Randy Tamayo. I'm with Arthur Morin Associates. As far as the landscaping, yeah, we haven't really looked at that much. So, yeah, and by the way, Roz, good job on the presentation. What you guys would want on that front portion along the streets and the highway. So yeah, right now we haven't really looked into it that much, which isn't much.
Okay. So there's basically no consideration has been made about landscaping at all.
Yeah, because the base yard, they basically use up the entire site, for their function, their operations. So there's not much room for it. I mean, there's some, but yeah, we got to look into it a little bit more.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to present regarding the project?
It's basically a two-story structure, split level, with kind of following the contour of the slope, leveling the upper portion of the where we have the warehouse and the mechanics, the repair shop, and the lower area is just the offices. That's kind of how we segregated the building. The colors of the building is, it's a Hointel's brand colors that they're gonna, introduce statewide. So I know you've seen their blue buildings. So we're gonna look like we're going a little bit away from that. Yeah, other than that, I mean, might be the nicest Hointel building you'll see.
So you're saying that Hointel's new statewide brand colors is black, white, and gray.
I think they're trying to look at that.
Oh, okay. Okay, does anyone have any questions for the applicant? Oh, Commissioner Young, you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Commissioner Young.
Okay, only my concern is the color of the roof is white. Is any way can tone it down, because when you come up the Polani Road, you will see that roof and the sun hit on it, so much glaze on that white roof. Is there some way we can tone it down the color?
Yeah, we working with a, what do you call, green building representative, and we try to have it be more reflective, to kind of keep the building cool. But we can look to see if we can tone that down some.
Yes,
Maybe go a couple of
that's the only
shades
concern I have.
darker.
Is
Yeah.
when you drive up the Polani Road and Market side, that white roof during hot day, and really the glaze on the roof.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how, because I know the building will probably be much higher than the roadway. You might see a little bit of the roof, because I think the rock wall in the front along the highway is about 14 feet, I think. And then then you got the two-story building. So I'm not sure how much of the roof you'll see. And on top of that, we're looking to install solar panels
Wow.
on that roof. So
Oh, that's good. They can cover most of it.
definitely, yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks. Does anyone else have any questions for the applicant?
Yes, I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Commissioner Kilkuski.
I'm looking at the elevations and it looks like one of the sort of aesthetic details is chain link fence covering some of the either, let's see, where is it? Looking at where'd it go?
Yeah, Roz, if you could move us to the elevations, maybe.
Yeah, sheet A006, yeah.
There we go.
So if you look at those, there's call outs for chain link fence. So I'm just wondering, is that like an aesthetic element?
The chain link fence for security purposes, to prevent people from entering the site from all sides.
And so, because it looks like on the west elevation, there's windows and it looks like a sliding door, and then the chain link will just be on the outside of everything that's basically fixed, right? Fixed glass.
Chain link, yeah, the chain link fence will probably just run along the property line on 4 sides.
Oh, okay, because the actual building elevations are calling out chain link fence like over windows and stuff.
Chain link fence over windows?
Yeah, if you look at the west elevation, you can.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see where that is. Okay, no, that particular room is our AC room, and we, instead of installing a solid wall, we for ventilation we're proposing a chain link fence. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's just for air ventilation. We have our AC room in that corner. Our equipment room.
And so it'll be, is it solid glass with chain link over it, or I guess not if it's for airflow?
Oh, it's just chain link fence and the gate.
I see.
And that chain link there is painted black, yeah?
Mhm.
Is what it was called out?
Probably black vinyl. Yeah, like a black vinyl.
Okay, thanks.
A chain link fence with a black vinyl coating.
Commissioner Lucia, do you have a question?
No.
Okay, sorry, you're unmuted, so I didn't want to miss you.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Am I unmuted?
You were unmuted, so I thought maybe you had a question. Okay, does anyone else have any questions for the applicant?
Chair, it's Russ again. I did check the special permit and there was no conditions requiring landscaping.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Randy, for that presentation. So
You're
now
welcome.
move on to discussion of this project. I would begin by saying that as far as the functions of it, I'm fine with that, you know, for this location, you know, having the base yard and having all those activities there. I think that the massing of the building generally is, sorry, I don't have an easy way to turn that off. The massing of the building is pretty good for the site. I like how the massing is and how that's all laid out. I have a couple sort of real big problems with this project though, because in the way that it is presenting itself to the village. And you know, this is at the main intersection where you're coming into town from all the different directions. And this building, you know, since the 70s has been sort of up on that hill there as sort of just this bunker with no windows. I mean, it's the only thing it's giving back to the village is just the sign that says Hawaiian Tel. And there's currently 2 trees, I think, only on the site. And the plan looks like it's going to remove both of them. And there's no consideration to replace it with anything else. And you know, I went to Hawaiian Tel's website, and because I see their ads on TV, you see their trucks, right? And they have the you know, like the Che Pelago motifs on things. They have color, right? In general, it has sort of a nice Hawaii feel to it. A lot of the way they present things. And I know that they were bought out, you know, a few years ago by a larger national company. But it seemed as though they were going to sort of maintain some of the feeling of being Hawaiian Tel. But I just don't see any of it in this building. You know, the black and white and gray and no landscaping, it's to me, it's not giving enough back to the village. And it's, you know, that corner has been, you know, not great since the 70s. And the state's not doing its part on that little bit on the corner, but that's not an excuse to not, you know, deal with the street frontage that Hawaiian Tel has, deal with the image to town and make it something that's really appealing. Anyway, that's my few cents. Would anyone like to add to discussion?
Yeah,
Okay, Commissioner Greenwell.
I agree with all that. Yeah, it's like, that's our main intersection for town, and the building is squished right up against it. I'm looking at the Google Street View right now, looking up at the Hawaiian Telecom building, and it's very obvious. You know, Walmart to the south, they've got extensive landscaping and a big rock retaining wall so that you can't really see what's going on there from the highway. And it's screened out a lot better. And I understand that landscaping is not a requirement for ag zoned property, but this is already under special use permit to be an exception to ag land. And I don't think agricultural usage is appropriate for that piece of property, but were it not zoned to agriculture, you know, this would be probably commercial or industrial zoning, which does have landscaping requirements. And I think being in keeping with the use of the proposed use of the property, yeah, my feeling is they should be required to spruce it up a little bit. I mean, the rest of us are in the commercial world. When we develop properties, we have to provide landscaping. I think there's a real benefit to providing landscaping, and yeah, to say that they're using all of the site is like, well, I'd use all the site too if I didn't have to do any landscaping. It's not like we don't plan around it when we need to. So I think that, and the color scheme, I get the white roof, but if you're going to put solar panels on the roof anyway, you might as well make it a dark color so that it's not black solar panels on white roof looking like a checkerboard. But yeah, the darker color scheme with landscape screening, I think, would be my request. And that's all I got.
Commissioner Lucia, are you unmuted?
Am I?
Oh,
I think so.
okay. Or Commissioner Young, did you have something you'd like to say?
Yes, I agree with what and Mr. Greenwald and indicated. I just wondered if and Hawaiian Tail can able to buffalo up, do some landscaping if it's not required because the special use permit. But we have considered, and if we use the commercial purchase land to do what they want to do, they just price out of the budget, I believe. And if they agree to do some site improvement and buffalo with the eyesore spot as and people concerned, I think that would be doable.
Yeah, following up on what Commissioner Greenwell said too, that wanting to use the whole site, I think the applicant could be more creative in that, maybe they do a green wall or something, right? Or adjust their parking so that they can save some of the trees or add some trees to parking, right? Trees and parking is a typical thing in the village. It'd be great if they could make some kind of deal with the state where they maintain that little scrap of corner that's next to it, and maybe offset some of the landscaping there. I think there's just lots of opportunities that have not been taken here. Yeah. Anybody else?
Hi, this is Randy.
Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead,
appreciate
Randy.
your comments, and yeah, we'll take the landscaping comments into consideration. We could look into that.
Okay, well, I appreciate that you'd be open to that. For me, I would not vote in favor of this the way it's presented now. And I'd be a little bit reluctant to make an approval with a condition to add landscaping because it's just not clear how that would happen. And so I feel that this one, I'd like to see it again in a version that gives a little more to the village.
Randy, question for you. Would you guys be amenable to providing like maybe an updated 3D rendering from the two roads, one from Kahumanu and one from Palani Road, so that we could see a little better? It's hard to, from the plans provided, they're very technical and we're more of an aesthetic body for review. So it might help to do some 3D renderings from those two viewpoints, like the intersection and maybe one from Palani Road looking south.
Right.
Maybe, yeah, if you guys add some landscaping, something like that, just so that we can see the color scheme and what it's going to look like a little more clearly. Yeah, that'd be my
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We can try to produce those.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be anything fancy, but just, what you've got right now is very, like, if you're an architect or an engineer, you can picture it, but I think most of us, and again, with the colors being, it's going to be a very visible building no matter what. So I think that would just kind of help paint the picture, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion? So we need to make a motion regarding this application. And our choices are basically to approve, reject, or defer.
I make a motion to defer, to give the applicant more time to add some landscaping and some additional materials to their presentation.
We have a motion from Commissioner Greenwell to defer this application to give the applicant time to amend it.
Mhm.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, second by Commissioner Kailua. Is there any discussion regarding the motion? Okay, not seeing anyone unmute. Let's go ahead and vote on this motion.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So the motion was to defer the application to defer to give the applicant more time to provide landscaping and more materials for the application. I'll have to rewrite that more. So Bronson, I couldn't tell who that was.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's right, but he's in the, it was Kailua who seconded, but he's in the meeting now.
Oh, he's in the meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Let's see if I can write this better. So defer approval to give the applicant more time to provide landscaping along the front yard or along the sides too, just the front yard.
As much as possible.
Yeah, I'll just say more landscaping because they may even need landscaping within the parking area. I'm thinking that we may, to look at that during plan approval also. So more to provide landscaping and more materials for the application for the elevations or for the more conceptual, more materials for the application to make it more clear. I don't know.
Yeah, just to provide more aesthetic information from the street view. Yeah. And maybe screen landscaping would be appropriate.
Screening, yeah, that's what we need,
Yeah.
screening. Okay, so defer to give the applicant more time to provide screening, landscaping, and more aesthetic materials to add to the application.
Okay.
Okay,
And
and
did
so we'll
we-
do a roll call vote. So I'm sorry, Commissioner Greenwell, maker of the motion,
Aye.
Commissioner Kailua, second of the motion,
Aye.
Commissioner Kilkowski,
Aye.
okay. Commissioner Crosso,
Aye.
Commissioner Lucia,
Aye.
Commissioner Young. Commissioner Young,
Mary Young, you need to unmute.
Aye.
okay, so we have 6 votes. So the motion is to defer.
Okay, so the motion is adopted. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, our third item of new business is application PLKVD 2023-000042. The applicant, Jason Navel, representative for Nine Brains Big Island LLC, Delaware LLC, DBA Pacific 19, is requesting design review for one ground sign to be installed on an existing 42-inch high rock wall fronting a hotel in Kailua Village, be rebranded as Pacific 19 Hotel, located at the corner of Palani Road and Kuakini Highway. The area of the ground sign is approximately 18 square feet, and the letter height is 9 inches tall. The ground sign will consist of black acrylic letters on white acrylic background on a rock wall. The applicant, Nine Brains Island LLC, DBA Pacific 19. Landowner, Lonnie Howe Properties LLC, the TMK 75006-016, located at 755646 Kuakini Highway in Kailua Kona.
I have to abstain from this. I have personal connections with this property.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Lucia. Will staff please give us an introduction to the application?
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'll get ready here.
Sorry to interrupt. Do we still have quorum without Rebecca?
I think
We
that
should
because
have
we have
five.
Robinson on now, we should be okay. Yeah.
Yes, we have 5. Oh, wait. Did Commissioner Young said she has a connection too?
Just Commissioner Lucia, yeah.
Lucia. Okay, so we have 5. Okay, thank you. Okay. So here's an aerial image of the, this is the former Kona Seaside that's going through a rebranding to Pacific 19. Let me get my pointer, sorry, you can't see that. So this is the hotel right here, I think the six-story hotel, there's their pool. There's the corner, here's Palani. I'm heading down to Ali'i Drive, and here's Kuakini. And at this corner here will be the ground sign facing Kuakini and Palani. And I think that's about it, that sign. There's the tax map key image. I didn't realize this is a side part, but I guess that's a separate parcel where the other part, when you go to the Kona Seaside, you can walk through a corridor and you can go through the other part of the separate, I guess it's a separate hotel, the Hokulani or whatever it used to be called. Hokulani, whatever. Anyways, there's a survey image they provided, kind of hard to read, but there's a Palani to the left, Kuakini here on the right, and this corner here where the ground sign has always been for the Kona Seaside. Been there since about 1963, I believe. And there's a site plan. So number 1 is over here. My mouse is going berserk here. Is where the ground sign would be. They have 2 additional wall signs that they're working on, but I'm not sure what their plans are as far as KVD design review. They did come to the KVDC previously for these, but they were returned for additional information. What's going on with my mouse here? Okay. There's the showing where the ground sign would be visible from right there at the intersection of Palani and Kuakini. Right there at the light. There's a visual of the old sign, which had 14-inch letters, and now they're going to be 9-inch letters. And it's existing 42-inch high rock wall, I believe. We'll see that in a minute. There it is, 42-inch high rock wall. There's a visual for the Pacific 19, showing that they're non-illuminated letters, and they stick out from the wall, black lettering. So I didn't get comments back from the building division. I did send out for comments. So it's not really up to me to make any real comments as to compliance with Chapter 3 signs. My thoughts originally were in the previous submittal for the wall signs and the ground signs was that the area of a sign were to be 12 square feet and the letter height 9 inches. So they have the letter height is okay with Chapter 3, Section 358C. But for any sign within the Kailua Village core, my thoughts were that it was supposed to be 12 square feet. So when they go in for their sign permit, we'll let the division of building make their comments then and determine if that will be compliant. Because it's not, what I'll be checking for is the review from Kailua Village Design Commission and then zoning and land use. So for zoning and land use, it's permitted because in the front yard setback, you can have a ground sign or fence, which we call it a similar feature to a fence, can be 6 feet or under and be in the front yard setback. So it's okay for zoning. And the letter, and then everything else falls under chapter 3 signs. So we'll defer to building for that. And so that's it for the signs. And that's the new rebranding of the hotel. And they won't be needing a plan approval. That came up with the previous time they came up to KBDC as we'll be doing interior renovations at some point, but they won't need plan approval for that. Because they're not doing any other exterior renovations at this point in time that I know of, other than the signs. Okay, any questions?
Thank you, Roz. And just to clarify, we are only considering this one sign at the corner.
That's right, just the one ground sign. That's all they put in.
One ground sign is all we're looking at today.
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Roz. Does anyone
Okay.
have any questions for Roz? I don't see any questions. Okay, thank you. Does the applicant have anything that they would like to present?
Hi, yes. Good afternoon, Commissioner Chair Roth and Commissioners. My name is Catherine Garson. I'm with Carl Smith Ball. I am the attorney for Nine Brains, and it's Nine Brains Big Island 1 LLC. Present in the room with me is a paralegal from our office, Jason Knable. For some reason, his name was on the as the applicant, but it is Nine Brains DBA Pacific 19. So also present in case we need them to answer questions. Amanda Thibodeau, she is with also with Pacific 19 Nine Brains, and Mr. Zimmerman, who is our sign creator here. So we were here in March, I believe, and at that time there were a number of different signs that they had come to request your approval on. However, this is only the ground sign. This sign does not require a variance. It is compliant with code. And so it's been bifurcated from the wall signs so that you don't have any variance request in front of you today. This sign is smaller than the prior sign, as Rosalind said. And it is just merely to reflect the rebranding. The renovated hotel under Pacific 19 has been operational now for a few months, and there is no signage there, which creates some problems for people finding the location. So again, we've distilled it to this sign, which meets the sign code, and we request your approval today and are here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, does anyone have any questions for the applicant? Okay, not seeing any, not hearing anyone unmute or have questions. Okay, thank you, Catherine. Okay, I'll start discussion on this one and say that it's nice that this is just simple. And the letter height, is within what we're supposed to have. And I until I saw it up here on the big screen, I didn't realize that the box that the sign is on actually has some depth to it. It's like 8 inches deep. And so I appreciate that it's not like a piece of plywood stuck up on the rock wall, right? It's got a little bit more sort of substantial thickness, the look of thickness to it, which I think helps it, will help it look better there. And so I don't see any problem with this sign. I and it's, you know, smaller than the old one, but still plenty large enough for the location. So I'm in favor. Commissioners, would anyone else like to add to discussion? Anyone? Or if there's no discussion, would anyone like to make a motion? You just hit that unmute button.
Oh,
And
I have a problem with this.
okay. Oh, so we have discussion. Good. Commissioner Young, go ahead.
I would like to make a motion to approve this applicant for the signs.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Young to approve this application. Do we have a second? Anybody? Just,
I second.
okay, Commissioner Kapua, he's our second today, all the way through. Good job. Okay, is there any discussion on this motion? Not seeing anyone on mute. Let's go ahead and vote on it.
Thank you, Chair. It's Ross. We'll do a roll call vote. Commissioner Greenwell,
I,
Commissioner Kalpua, second on the motion,
Aye.
Commissioner Kilkuski,
Aye.
Commissioner Casaro,
Aye.
Commissioner Lucia,
Abstain?
abstained, right, I'm sorry. Sorry about abstaining. Commissioner Young, maker of the motion.
I,
Okay, so we have the 5 votes in favor, so approved as submitted.
The
Thank you.
Motion is adopted. Right. Okay, so the next item of business is announcements. And so we have that the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for September 26th. Is that still correct?
Hi, Chair. No, we have not had any applications, so we are not having our meeting on the 26th.
Okay.
Our next meeting might be on the October 10th.
Okay, so October 10th is the next potential meeting.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any other announcements? Okay.
No.
I apologize for getting the start time wrong. But thank you all for being here and everyone for making your motions and your seconds and getting through very efficiently. Have a great afternoon, everyone. And we'll say if there's no further business, the meeting is adjourned at 1:40 p.m.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Deanna and Ross?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you stay on the link for just a moment after?